gonna be red. Yep, here goes. Always. Alrighty, good evening. Welcome to the BNR Racing Network. Here tonight, Martinsville. A lot of these guys round 2. Short track swing. These couple of weeks, so see how well they do here tonight, and hopefully bring you a lot better action tonight than Tuesday. But we see there, Matt Hunsaker goes to the top of the board with the 19.6. So a lot of these guys found early speed. A lot of them didn't. So unfortunately, that's sometimes the way. Sometimes that's the way it goes. So, but. We'll go over a few things here. So as you see here, you got Martinsville, half-mile track, 68 degree temp, 47% humidity, partly cloudy, 3 miles per hour. Wind, 75% fuel, 4 sets of tires, 1 quick fix, 3 attempts at a green, white, checkered, and unfortunately last week's winner isn't here. I do know either next week we will not be live, period, at all. Or I don't know if it's next week or the following week, because I will be out of town and I am going to New Jersey. Family emergency had appeared on us, so that'll be that. So next week I probably won't, or the week after, I don't know. I just don't know when, but it's one of the times next week. So that is that. So 10 qualified at this time, so your normal 10. That's that. So, like I said, 250 laps. Who knows? Hopefully a little bit smoother, or maybe shitfest. We don't know yet, so we'll just wait and see, and bring in the best. So, and a lot of these guys told me to step out of your comfort zone. So we'll see, and that's why I tell these boys that sometimes you gotta step out of your comfort zones and do a little short track swing here and wing it the best you can. A lot of these guys are dirt fanatics. Some of them are road course swingers. So really, just all depends. Really, that's for sure. But once again, it'll be 131 miles here tonight, 250 laps. Who full sends who won't? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. That's for sure. But you got 10 seconds left, and then they can go over is the starting grid, and then bring you the action out on track. So right here, we'll go to starting grid now. Boom. Bow, chicken. So we have dang it. Alright, we'll just click on it. So we got P1, Matt Hunsaker, P2, Mark Berry. P3 would be Tyler Myers, P4 would be Chris Schaefer. P5 would be Dave Berry. P6 would be Jason Pearson. P7 would be Robert Amaro. P8 would be Richard Johns. P9 would be Joe Stite. P10 would be Josh Small. P11 would be Philip Bridgman. P12 would be Larry McKenzie. P13 would be Jim Coleman-Sperger. P14 would be Aaron Bradford. P15 would be J.D. O'Brien. P16 would be Campbell. 16 fellow colleagues here for show. Coney is obviously Kyle, so that's you see the 911 sitting up there. So whenever they get their caution, you'll see Coney come out and get these boys to choose once they come around and give them their own free will to choose where they want.
One would assume, Brian, that Matthew Hunsaker may be in for a little bit redemption from Tuesday. Just got that penalty, never could overcome said penalty. He looked to be probably the quickest truck in the green flag running we did have, and even Dave Barry said so himself. He said that Matthew was probably the class of the field that evening. So just a couple of evenings ago on Tuesday, the BNR truckers, our trucks were here at Martinsville. They ran 200 laps here, so just 50 more this evening, like you have been alluding to. And good qualifying result for Mark Barry, but let's see if he can get down to the bottom, or at least in that inside lane, on the going here to, get that second place going.
Yeah.
Good. Also, good qualifying result for Tyler Myers. He qualified third for this race, so.
Oh yeah. He was showing some speed early, especially in practice. The Berries were pretty quick, so they're always one to keep an eye out. These boys were forewarned about the slamming on the gas on the initial start. You don't want to do that with these cars. A lot more heavier, but also easier to fling around. So hopefully get a lot more green flag runs here tonight. And then hopefully green flag pit stops till that's short. So.
Are you going to share your screen?
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
It's all good.
Pace car is off.
Yes, and coming to the initial start, Hunsaker leads them away into turn one, and Barry trying to get down, like I said, to that bottom. So Mark got a really good start as well, able to keep that second position at the moment. But Matthew just has really good pace. He has really good rhythm at most of these short tracks we go to, it seems. So good for him to get back-to-back poles, I guess you could say. Oh, we already got carnage happening again already very early in the going here at Martinsville. But like Joe Stipe got in there, just overdrove the entry, and into Robert Amaro he went. And get a replay of it here. Maybe might be different under replay, but oh yes, just got those brakes locked up and trying to minimize what he had already done by overdriving the entry, overcooked the entry. And he was in a good battle, side-by-side battle with Richard Johns, trying to outbrake Richard, and he outbraked himself in that occasion.
Yeah, so, and that's what we were talking about by hitting your marks, know where to... know where to lift off, know where to get back on the throttle, know when to brake. Normally when you lift, you brake shortly after you lift or right as you're lifting. So it can be fairly difficult, that's for sure, especially here at Martinsville, where on these little straightaways, I guess if you want to call them little, basically a little bit shorter than a drag strip worth, you do reach some pretty decently, top speed, about, I want to say about 130, Yes.
maybe 125, somewhere in that ballpark, and that's some good speed. And then you also got to get wrap your head around the mid cornering speed, which can be about 60, 70 miles per hour at the apex of these corners. So Martinsville awful tricky, like we alluded to all night in the truck race Tuesday, and this evening we'll probably be bashing that bus again as well.
Yes.
So Matthew Hunsaker got out to a decent start, one might want to say, and lap 2, or coming to lap 2, I think it was, Joe overcooked himself into 1. But, mistakes early on. Hopefully you don't bang your car up too much or keep getting into these mistakes, and you can be there at the end. We saw some drivers Tuesday evening rebound after having just an up and down etch-a-sketch night, and maybe they can do the same here.
Very tight. So see here?
Yes, now.
I'll choose. Boom.
Now that there is a choose rule in place in the Xfinity Series, for the most part, I would imagine just about almost everybody would want to choose the inside lane here. I almost don't know why you would choose the outside unless you feel like there is some advantage to that, but most of the time it is advantage to the bottom lane, give or take, but inside lane here, it seems definitely would have an advantage. Inside lane at a lot of tracks just feels like you have the most advantage. Unless the race leader restarts in the outside lane and gets going, then you can time that jump. But like we harped about Tuesday, all about the timing, all about trying to get the right jump with the race leader, go when he goes.
I ain't got my, oh my goodness. My training paints wasn't on. So, restart happens there, green flag. By Joe. Sorry, not by Joe. By Matthew. So you see here, the 13, the 6 in the back here. The teammates, 68, 28, 41. All lined up there at 9th, 10th, and 11th. Oh, as the brakes lock up by the 77. There we go. Everybody's paint scheme is back. There you go. I knew Philip wasn't just in a bag on or a gray car. I knew something wasn't right, that's for sure. Well, at least we got that taken care of now, so.
That early caution most certainly helped out Philip. I don't think he was there at the initial drop of the green flag, so I don't think he went a lap down, so he was able to stay somehow on the lead lap. Really helped him out a lot, so just have to sit back, watch, wait and see where our comers and goers are going to eventually kind of equalize out here.
As you see there, I do believe the lights did click on because I saw that little quick flash there off of the 6 car there. And caution number 2, Matthews around. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, the pole sitter.
Let's see what happened to Matt. Oh, that's a nice looking car. I'm like, wait a minute, I know Matt's around the paint scheme. So this looked like just getting in there too much. Locked her up.
Oh, that's definitely a hard hit. But on these Xfinity cars, these composite bodies, just have to wait and see truly how much damage internally on the chassis and all the toe links and stuff that these race cars have. But we saw this happen a lot in the truck race Tuesday, just either the transition from the asphalt to the concrete or just maybe wheel hopping into the corner, locking up a brake and spinning the car around. And very surprising to see the race leader have a mistake. Doesn't matter who the race leader is. Whenever the race leader does fall into a mistake, you're just kind of surprised and, in a way, just shell-shocked to see the race leader make a mistake. And by golly, that is some big damage on the passenger side of that one car. And Dale Jr. patriotic scheme from one of the July 4th periods of the 10-year Hendrick Motorsports, I do believe. But man, so
I thought that's what the pink scheme that was.
Yeah, I think I have that diecast somewhere. But Matthew, he had a speeding penalty, I believe, or no, it was a restart violation in the trucks Tuesday, and that set him back. He kind of got put in the pack and never could recover from that. And now he kind of just skippity bopped into the wall there. So let's see. We'll be watching his drive of recovery through the race as we get back going green flag eventually. So just working the second caution. You know, we didn't see him back to back immediately like we did in the truck race. So maybe good fortune, good hope, and maybe not as many. I think we had 20 in total. The one green white checkered, I think it was, and the other 19 cautions. So in total, that would be 20, I do believe, for the truck race. Hopefully, we don't have to stare at the iRacing driver guy too much longer, because that guy looks creepy. All of the basic iRacing
Pretty much, that's
driver
all
do.
Yeah.
Because my goodness, that is the source of nightmares right there, Brian. But yes, Kyle, get a tinted visor for your driver there, please. I don't want to see his eyes. He has no soul. So race lead would be over to Chris Schaefer now in the 23 machine. I don't know why I have a stopped up or like a stopping nose, but anywho, Mark Berry's still here. Yeah, it's finally had a decent week or where the heat index or the humidity hasn't been as bad, but still pretty hot, Brian, like you say. So I think next week it's just going to kick back up again to those lovely warm temperatures that produce heat strokes. So can't wait for that. But yeah, let's just see who all makes the next mistake as the green flag waves again, Brian. It's almost like, well, the lead car doesn't seem, do you really want to be there? But
that's the thing. You never know here.
No, you don't. That's for sure.
So, I forgot I can control the clearing. That works perfect. But anyway, like I said, it's a crapshoot and a half, Will, this track, especially with these cars. These cars are very... So, like I said, that I've experienced with them, they're very, very, very loose. They're not as sensitive as the next gen, but they are easier to snap around.
Yeah, I believe the Xfinity cars have, 620, 650 horsepower, I think, somewhere around there. And, that's a lot of horsepower. The Cup cars don't even have that much horsepower, I don't think, anymore. So, trying to get off the corner here in an Xfinity car just a tad bit more difficult than the truck, even the Cup car. It's just trying, like we talked about Tuesday, just driving on eggshells, basically, or just kind of driving on an egg. You don't want to put the hammer down to where you're going to flatten that egg or bust it or anything, but still you want to have that throttle control to where you can keep up your rhythm, keep up your momentum, and still make the lap time, still have the car coming off the corner straight. You don't want to be tail slappy or sideways, that's for sure.
So we got both Barrys, Will, running down safely. One's in a Chevy, one's in a Ford.
Second and third position here for the Barrys.
Another one to keep a close eye on, Will, is Jim.
Yeah, Jim Coleman-Sperger.
We know how good Jim can do.
I don't think Jim qualified as per usual. He just working his way up through the field like normal. I think some drivers, some competitors, they just kind of prefer having that. Some really enjoy it. Some think it's fun. I never really liked having to work my way up through the field because sometimes it's kind of hard to rely on your fellow competitor to kind of, it can be a challenge. Let's just put it like that. But some really embrace that challenge and they love to do it every race. And Jim currently setting in P7, so yeah, if we get a long run, good, decent, green flag run in here, I would expect Jim to have a top 5 car, no doubt.
Oh yeah, because he likes to ease it on it. He doesn't like to do like that. Well, like I said, we can only assume that these top 4 guys, 5 guys, pushing. Jim's the one, and Richard, and Campbell, and all of them are the ones that like to sit back and, alright, and as you see there, Tyler gives the buck to the back of that 56 machine, Captain Crunch Ford. Say, hey, I'm obviously a little quicker than you, but as Dave Barry says, if you're faster, you'll find your way around. And that's just how that's going to work.
Yeah, but just a little bump, no harm, no foul. It looks like could have been one of those deals of just getting into the corner better, perhaps, than the person in front of you, or just that could have just been where Dave kind of just lifts and just kind of let it roll for just a little bit. Like we talked about a lot Tuesday, everybody's got different lifting and braking points and getting back into the throttle points. Some really like to let it roll till corner exit and then get back into the throttle, or some like to try to just burp it or pedal it and work their way through the corner. And there's so many ways to go about it here at Martinsville, so you can really attack the corners or you could back up your corners.
Oh yeah. As you see there, Tyler Myers trying to find a way around Dave Barry. I guess what's going to happen will be everybody on the bottom, hold on the outside to be able to left, especially getting caught up in that marble, just like that. Now,
Mark's going to lose 2 spots, it looks like here. Tyler dove down to the inside, and then, yep, McKenzie looking back at him, so, yeah, that's what we talked about, that outside lane. It can be a handful, it can be very tricky, and McKenzie was trying to, my apologies, yep, that is Pearson. I'm so used to McKenzie being in a Napa car, so I thought that was McKenzie. I didn't see the 13 on the side.
Like I said, he's pretty well on a couple of these cars there. 13.
Yeah, his front and rear was a bit glowy when that contact was made between him and Mark Barry, and still glowing a little bit as if you make a mistake here of any kind, you get out of your rhythm, you get out of that momentum that you were having. It will take a few laps, maybe even a handful of laps to recover your driving line, your rhythm, your momentum, all of that you had before you kind of banged doors or fenders or just overdrove a corner or exit. All those things could equal into losing that momentum. Martinsville, really momentum-based track, for it being as flat as it is, as short as it is. You really got to keep that up, and when you don't, you lose a lot of time, and that's what we saw there with Pearson and Barry. I think Mark might have been just kind of letting the faster car or cars at the time go, like his brother Dave and maybe Tyler. Tyler got position on him really well, and then Pearson was like, well, hey, I'll join this party as well. But Mark just had an issue under braking. I think he might have wheel hopped into a bad spot there going into turn one, and just once that occurred, it just kind of came down into Pearson. But they kept it straight. Everybody's going good here at the moment. We got a pretty decent run in here.
As you see there, Jim closes that gap to the back of the 10 of Richard Johns. So they're roughly running the same pace, but Jim might have a little bit more oomph behind that Dow Chevy machine. Looks like he's getting a lot smoother and getting off a lot more smoother.
Yes, indeed, Brian. That's what it looks like from the 11. And Matthew Hunsaker now joining Jim. So Jim kind of letting Matt go. It looks like Matt almost missed the corner, almost just hopped the curb just about, but didn't get there.
As you see there, Matt pushing a little bit too much, fixing to. Now he's got it fixed to the way. Oh yeah, watch that curb. Which is what iRacing's fixing to. They're gonna redo most of the curbs at some of the tracks. Massive update, as we all got aware of for September. So, third caution is out here tonight. Robert Amaro will bring out that caution. So
well, from the looks of things, it looks like he might have just got back to the throttle a little bit before the car wanted to be. Just from the looks of things, or maybe JD. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, the initial hunch. Always go with the gut. I just didn't want to throw JD under the bus. Didn't have to, thank goodness. I thought he might have got touched by JD whenever you saw the replay at first. I'm like, oh, JD was really close. Wonder if something happened. But anyway, JD didn't have to do anything of the sort. So no touching involved. Just Robert getting back to the throttle. Like I said, a bit before the car was planted on the straightaway. Like you talked about earlier, near the top of the show, Brian, you don't want to just flat-foot it off the corner. You really want to be gentle, be easy with that throttle pedal. Not too sure about the fuel mileage here tonight. I would guesstimate to say probably the same range as the trucks, if not maybe 5 or 10 laps less than what the trucks got, maybe 5, so maybe 95 or maybe 100 laps on a full tank. I didn't get to ask anybody, but just a guesstimation. These guys run 5% less than the trucks do. The trucks, I believe, had like 100 or like 104 laps on a full tank, so maybe just, cut a few laps out of that, and that's probably what we have for this evening, one would only assume. Good guesstimation assumption work, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, fixing to get the choose rule going here. I better get to one of the cameras here. Shooby-doo. Alright. So will they'll come this time by to choose here, as you see here. Oh, look at that Bradford up to P2.
Man, you wonder if Bradford maybe just took right sides or just had a really awesome pit stop compared to the rest of the other drivers. Maybe some just overshot, had to back up, or maybe Bradford already pitted earlier during one of the other cautions and just decided, like I said, to take rights, but oh my goodness, did not get going on that restart. But like we talked about, harpened about earlier, that outside lane, it's going to be a struggle unless, the race leader is going to restart there with you so you can kind of go with him. But, Bradford might have just been sleeping on that occasion. Or it could have also been in the wrong gear as well. Sometimes that happens as well. Dave Berry currently leading this race as we get a good onboard shot. I believe that's Matthew Hunsaker in the one car, still working his way back up through the field after having his moment, bringing out the second caution, I do believe, of the race earlier before lap 20, I think. So,
yes.
But like you said earlier, Jim Coleman'sberger, Chris Campbell, a couple of these drivers, a few of them, they really want to try to get that long green flag run in and work their way the best that they can up the field. As Chris is having some trouble.
Yeah, Campbell's getting caught on the outside. Well, no room to get down to the bottom. They are leaving him up there in those marbles. You know how rough the marbles can be when you're
yes, indeed. Also,
very tight.
Just also looked like he couldn't get the car to turn down into the corner as well. And like you said, going to have some marbles on his tires for a few laps. That's going to make the car ill handling for sure. So, looked like there might have been a shot from Myers to Richard. And, Bradford comes around. That's going to be the fourth caution, my apologies. So, identical to what happened to Amal in the 77. I don't think he was helped by Richard. I don't think Richard was close enough to him, so just right around he came.
Yep, so that looked like he had a little bit of looseness, a little bit hard charge off the turn, Will.
Yep.
That's what that looked like.
Have to agree with you on that one.
Because if you watch here, Richard gets nowhere near him. That's just the rear end of that machine coming around. But he had it yawed out pretty well. Mm-hmm. So under the lights, you're starting to get into a little bit more of a cooler temperatures of the tracks. So, and that's what I'm talking about, finessing with the throttle. You'll want to do that here, especially in these cars. Cup cars, you really probably won't do them as much. So.
Yeah, he was a bit tail happy in the center of the corner, I think, and then completely on exit, he was just loose all the way around, like you say, and came around and bit the wall.
So Robert Amaro will get his lap back, which puts him back
only car one lap down.
Mm-hmm. So these boys been getting some good runs, just under different conditions. So quick little fix up for Bradford, and out he comes. That's for sure. Richard John's having a great run tonight. A lot of these guys are. A lot of the guys that we don't really see in the front are doing really well. So nice to see them up there in the front. Jim's doing great. So
yeah, Jim's kind of, once he got in that 7th position, he's really held station there at this time. He, like we said, he's just probably logging laps, waiting around till a little bit more go time later on in the race.
Oh, Coney. Like to see that thing zip around here, don't we? But
a bit of Legends car to race around here would be intoxicatingly fun.
So they're getting ready.
It might take a while, but yeah, you see Dave Barry picking the bottom, and a good amount actually. Like I speculated and alluded to earlier, good amount picking the bottom. I firmly believe bottom is the way to go here at Martinsville. Unless you were the race leader and feel confident in getting the traction down, yes indeed, look at all the cars that have picked the inside, so very few up top on the top side.
4 or 5 of them are on the outside. I'll say 5. And then that whole inside lane is stacked with cars there. But if you're going to take the advantage, you might as well go to the bottom, because the outside lane, well, we know, like I said, we're always going to say it. When you're caught up in the marbles, you're just going to be caught in the marbles. And there's just no way to get down and get away from it. So there's that. So Dave Barry will come and lead the field back to green as Barney waves the flag. Oh, as Richard Johns hits the curb in there. As Philip
he's curb hopping.
Oh, you see Joe up there bouncing her off the wall. Oh, you see.
Oh.
There it is.
Yeah, we also saw Tyler closing the door on Richard before the caution came out.
Oh, yeah, we did. So, as we look back here, I think Joe got caught in the marble. Nope, he was up there, he tried to keep her off. And
oh! Just gathered Hunsaker with him, and Robert joined the party by locking his brakes up and sliding down to the inside wall. That's going to hurt all 3 of those cars.
oh, yeah.
Sometimes when you try to avoid a wreck, you become part of the scene. But Joe up here in that outside lane and just kind of drags the wall down, couldn't stay up in the wall, bounced out of the wall like a ricocheted bullet and down into Matthew, who was just trying to navigate by.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to do there. So 5th caution of the night. Like I said, Joe tried to keep her up there on the wall, which is the correct thing to do. But I would have probably lifted off the throttle a little bit and just let it coast on by. But everybody does things different, and that's that. So. Counties is, like I said, is super busy here tonight. So 69 of 250 complete here. He was forewarned that he will probably be very busy. Matt's got some damage to that right side there, so we'll see how well that affects Matt. So
man, those lights on the iRacing pace cars are just absolutely just bright.
Right, you see it, like it lights up the whole sequence. Yep. So keeps them all as they'll come to choose again. As we watch on by there. Barry bottom, Schaefer bottom, Barry bottom, Tyler top, Richard top, Phillip bottom, Matt top. It's just there you go. So Dave Barry gonna lead the field back to green. Your race winner from Tuesday. As the lights are off on the pace car, as you see there, you got some little tire debris on Barry's windshield there.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing the amount of rubber that gets laid down on a racetrack during an event or a race weekend, or if there's no rain during that event, and all the marbles that get laid down. Green flag waving yet again. I could not imagine racing an open cockpit or an open wheel car and getting marbles flicking into you. Be as bad as driving through all the gravel, the sand traps and whatnot.
So see here, Phillip Rickman has done a pretty good go. P6 after missing the initial start, coming back. Looks to get to the inside there of that 6 machine. Keeping Tyler Myers pinned up on the outside wheel as Richard's going to finesse his way through the field. Currently P4 as he ride on board with Tyler Myers there coming at a 2. He's going to sneak in behind the 7 going into 3 and 4.
Oh, Myers is getting around. Oh, Jim clocked him and sent him back up the track. That was a long slide forever and a day, it seemed, as we were on board when it happened, and not sure if he got touched or if he was just having one of those wheel hopping, locking brake moment. He was on that outside lane can really be a doozy, that transition, like we've talked about countless times. And might need a bit better angle there, maybe a side angle, Brian, because Matthew might have touched him. Might look like Matthew hit him. Yeah, I don't. There we go. Maybe for sure the chopper can. Oh,
Like a little neck
how?
there, but
I I think he got right into him because for sure that rear bumper is definitely caved in. I don't know if that was net code or not because, like I said, really good. Yeah, he for sure got into the back of him.
oh yeah.
But you know, harping back to what we said earlier, everybody's lifting points are different. Matthew probably could have, for sure, drove it into the corner just a little bit more than Tyler did, but Tyler was struggling. He was trying to get back into his groove. Of course, from this restart, he lost a couple of positions, and then, you know, Matthew, who is obviously quick around here, just came in trying to gain back what he had lost earlier in the race, and like we said, completely different lifting points perhaps that the two drivers have, and Matthew definitely said, "Hello, can I help you?" Get turned around. I don't think Matthew was meaning to do it though. By the way, like no ill intent or no malicious intent. I don't think by Matthew's part. Just like I said, probably could have drove it in deeper than Tyler. Just Tyler was kind of in front of Matthew at the time. I don't want to say in his way, just there, unfortunately.
Well, at least we can see wherever the pace car is at because those lights
Yeah.
around.
Like I said, you know, kind of wish you had them on your road car. How bright they were.
Phillip goes to the outside. JP goes to the outside. Mackenzie to the outside. Myers to outside.
I would definitely like to see a restart. I wasn't trying to talk over you, Brian, but I would like to see a restart where everybody just picks one lane. That'd be funny.
I'm sure eventually there will be.
Yeah, somewhere.
Well, Phillip now moved up quite a few spots by choosing the outside, so some advantage is better than none, that's for sure. So we got two of the Napa schemes in front of each other.
Yeah, we can tell them apart by the coloring of the numbers, so I like that. Creativity there.
I'm guessing they are Chase Elliott fans. What would say?
I think they're slightly different schemes, though. I think. Maybe. Because there's
the back of the cars are different.
No, I'm kind of wrong. I think they are like basically identical schemes. I thought the blue on McKenzie didn't like wrap around, or like I thought it. I can't find the actual words of what I'm trying to say.
So as you see there, Phillip gets a great start, able to get behind Barry.
Yes, indeed, splitting the berries. You know, pretty much all these restarts, even the initial start, I was going to say very calm until that point, but McKenzie finding the wall and able to stay in it and not come down across the nose of Myers or into the door.
Yeah. As you see, Richard Don will apply pressure to the 9 if he can ever so slightly get there. Then you got Jim Coleman'sberger slowly coming into the picture. Eventually enough he'll get there and just hopefully we'll see how far they can go this time. Yeah,
we still have well over 150 laps left remaining, so still a lot of time left in this race, still a lot of time to just ride, log those laps, and in a way just play follow the leader until that person in front of you makes a big enough mistake to get by.
The Berry, Richmond Berry. Dave Berry, Mark Berry, Philip Berry. They got Richard Dowling, Jason Pearson, Jim Coleman, Campbell, great run by Campbell there. Tyler Meyer, Josh Small, Schaefer. That gives your top 10.
Yeah, Aaron Bradford in 11th, J.D. O'Brien 12th, Joe Stite 13th, McKenzie in the 00 in 14th, Robert Amaro 15th, Matthew Hunsaker fell a lap down, probably repairing some damage. He probably already used the quick fix perhaps, or maybe still waiting. Not sure, to be honest, why he went a lap down, unless maybe it was like a lap hold perhaps for the incident of sending the 6 Myers around. Have to get confirmation, I guess, later on about that. Oh, Richard had a moment a couple of laps ago. I just now saw or noticed he had a real good incident out of 2, and then Pearson, he kind of blinked there diving into 3, and Pearson didn't know where he went, gave him a ton of room. So those drivers going to have to get back into the swing of things. That lost Pearson a spot from Coleman'sberger. Coleman'sberger was right on the heels of Pearson, so
looks like everything's straightened out, so they should be all right.
Yeah, Dave Berry has opened up his lead now over Phillip to over a 2.25 seconds. So, 1.5 seconds.
Come on.
Flowing. Oh.
Where's the shred heads? That's it, same thing. A little too much, a little bit into the turn.
I don't know if Robert hit him or if he was able to get it locked down, but I think he might have hit him because Robert don't have a front fascia anymore. Oh, yep, I guess he did. And tough break for Robert in that 77. Another race, back-to-back Martinsville races here where he just kind of found somebody sitting in the middle of the track in these blind corners. Happened to him in the truck race Tuesday evening, so happened again in the Xfinity race Thursday.
Yep. Well, like I said, at least we know where the pace car is at.
Yeah, pretty much. Bright lights. Always a shining where the pace car is, that's for sure.
Oh, Phillips the leader.
Yes, Dave Berry pitted here, so
Let's see if we can talk about real quick.
Coleman'sberger.
Phil!
Hey.
Well, we finally see you got a paint scheme on. Before you were just in a test car, but we fixed that, so we're all good. So, you guys get a couple great runs in, and then you stall the pace a little bit. A couple of more laps going, then you stall a little bit again. Tell us how your car is handling from the start of the race until now.
It's pretty close to the same. It's still a bit tight. I didn't really get to put any adjustments in or nothing. Just ran it right as is. I feel like I'm kind of locking up my fronts a little bit. I'm trying to avoid doing that. It's not too bad though.
Right. So, how would you partake, and how do you think these races are going out there with Coney for you guys?
I think it's great. Coney's a great addition to it. You don't really get to see it too often, that's for sure. It's like the first time I've really experienced something like this, and I think it's awesome.
So what's going to be your strategy to try to stay out in the front as long as you can? Because I know you guys get a little bit more extra time pacing around here.
I feel like the leader who, Barry, he just took tires, I feel, so I wouldn't surprise me if he starts making a comeback through the field. I see him shortly.
Alrighty, Sir Philip. 26 more laps and you guys will be halfway, so hopefully you guys can keep her green and keep her going. Best of luck to you, and I'll get you back up there.
Hell yeah, appreciate it.
No problem. Alright, Will. Philip will lead the field back to green here. Richard Johns to his outside. Just like that, two great starts by both of these guys. That's how you do a restart, I would say.
Yep, just as good as anyone could probably do it. Timing is everything. We can't preach about it enough. And Richard really timed it well with Philip on that restart, like you said. Still door-to-door for the race lead, but I think Philip finally got it cleared.
Oh, yeah.
But that's going to move Richard up to P2. That's the highest he's been all night.
He's probably got that car right where he wants it and right where he needs it. So he was probably trying to example how well it'll take off in the fresh air. And I thought he did pretty well because he kept it side-by-side with Philip on that restart. So if you want to talk about executing a restart, that's one way to do it. Just like that, and how they kept it ever so slightly close enough to each other coming to take the new flag. I thought he lost it because I saw him dropping down the list there. So as you see there, fresh tires coming into the field, and that's what Philip was worried about. Dave Barry, already up to P3. So we'll see how well this turns out, and hopefully Dave can finesse the field a little bit better than most others.
Yeah, you would assume that the drivers with the fresh tires will be able to manage their way up through the field, but that's all about managing those tires and managing how you are able to navigate past somebody.
Yes. So well, as we see here, Tyler gets a great roll through the middle of the turns, but she's able to carry majority of his speed. Like, he is able to get it in there until he does that. As you see there, Richard lets Dave go by, so which is I would say a smart thing. Fresh tires, go ahead, go get it. So Now Dave moves into P2. No, 16 more laps to go, and they'll be halfway. So hopefully now they can prevail here.
Yeah, it looks like for the most part everybody's gotten into a good rhythm and just logging laps here. Trying not to pretty much run over their fellow competitors in front of them, trying to give each other enough space and room.
Phillips still out front, Will, but Barry closed that gap in very quick. As we see there.
Yeah, for sure. Dave was really chased down Phillip. Phillip leading a handful of laps here this evening. Trying to keep that lead, but at the same time, just always trying to get the best finish possible there. Phillip always does, and really good defensive lines trying to keep the lead going into the corners.
There's the caution.
Well, caution does wave, like you say. Yes, indeed.
Let's see there. Larry McKenzie. Martinsville hasn't been coming in. As you see there. That was close. But look at them brakes glow. Those brakes are hot. So I would try to take some brake bias out and move it around to where that doesn't happen. So as you see here, now Phillip and all them are pitting. Phillip, Dave, Phillip, Mark, Tyler, Richard are now on the pits. Well, let's see if we can get a good hold of Dave here. Dave, it's Brian and Will. You got a call?
Dave does.
How's it going, sir?
All good.
That is good. That's what we like to hear. Well, you want to ask him anything?
Well, Dave, it seems like you might have the pace to beat here this evening. What all are you trying to do to stay out front and maintain this lead?
Now, just try not to overcook the brake. I try not to overcook the brakes and just run consistent laps. Just try to get into a rhythm and hope that it stays green for a while so I can space things out and get a little comfort. And then hopefully we can get one more pit in, probably, I don't know, another 60, 70 laps and take it to the end from there.
Looks like the biggest mistakes from the competitors this evening has been mainly Will hopping into the corner. What's been your biggest issue that you've been facing this evening, David?
Everybody wanting to be in my groove. The groove that I want, they're in. So, you just got to bide your time. Try to set the car up in front of you with a little bit of high-low and just kind of work them over a little bit as hard as you can and see what happens. And hopefully it works. And with this pit strategy, it puts me out front, which I like. So hopefully we stay here.
Well, best of luck to you, Dave, and hopefully we're talking to you later.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
There you go. So Barry chooses the inside lane. along with Schaefer and Campbell. The outside is JP, Mackenzie, Richard Johns, Tyler Myers, and then JD O'Brien. So, and Robert Amaro. So, pace lights are off on. Sorry, the pace lights. Yeah. The race lights are off on the pace truck car as they get ready to.
Man, Brian, whenever you're not calling it a car, you're calling it a truck, and whenever it's a truck, you're calling it a car.
Exactly.
Terrible.
But
Anyway, yeah, coming back to the restart here, Dave Berry will be the control car yet again. The two Nampa brethren cars on the high side. Like you say, Richard Johns and Myers rounds out the top side. Good hole shot jump restart by Dave Berry.
Yep. As Dave Berry gets out to a great wholesome lead there. Half a second already. So, lift points become a big factor. All on where you get on and off the car. Oh, you see there, Philip a little bit too high. And the Marvel's there. See Joshua there too. Looks like he hit the curb a little bit.
Yeah, Philip is one of the number of competitors that pitted during this last caution. Came down pit road, topped off, got another set of tires. So, having to work their way back up through the field again. Track position very keen here at Martinsville.
So, well, next time by they and as Dave says, hopefully they can.
Oh, Mackenzie.
Yep.
I'm sure if he's going to get a penalty for that. I'm not sure where the actual iRacing commitment line is at Martinsville.
Right as you hit the turn there. So that is it's going to be a penalty.
Oh! Mark's going to go around. Not sure if that's off the nose of Bridgman or throttling up off the corner before the car could get its nose planted. We're about to see here in the replay of things. Just had a... Oh, yes, indeed. Ice skating silhouette or pirouette there. Round goes Mark. I tell you, the transitions through the corner of the concrete, very, very difficult. Got to also keep in mind, concrete, very different surface to asphalt. Also, concrete will be cooler than asphalt, so it's not necessarily going to be the same temperature as it is down the straightaways. Yeah, Mark just throttled up right before he could get the nose planted up the car on the straightaway and whipped right around on him.
Yep. So as you see there, you got Bridgman, Hunsaker, Pearson, Robert Morrow all in the pits. As you see Mark now in the pits there. Rough go for Mark, especially Tuesday night, but that is alright. I believe he will be okay. You don't need to back to that car. We seen it done last season, Will, on the Cup side of things. And people are out there becoming a modified. So
yeah, sometimes that back end plate can be a bit more of a hamper than anything, but the car probably might feel a tad bit different.
as they'll pass Cody this time, then he'll get situated next time by. That's his wonderful sights. So as they come on by, Dave Barry's going to choose the bottom again. Schaefer's going to go out. No. Richard's outside. Campbell outside. Effort bottom. Look at that. I think kind of even on both sides of the plate here. So. And well, we've seen Richard do restarts, so he knows how to do restarts here, so he could keep it a little closer to that 56 of Barry. So we'll just have to tune in and watch as they take the restart.
Yeah, Richard really showed a couple of restarts ago, I do believe. You know, he really hanging it tough on the outside, had a good restart, matched Phillip really well, able to hang around there. Let's see what he can do now with Dave Barry as they are creeping back to the restart zone here.
That's right there. A great start by both of them. Not too far off Richard is. You see there a lot of bumper tag for sure. So
yes, most definitely. That's kind of what you get on these restarts here in Martinsville. Like we alluded to, we just can't keep talking enough about it. You know, you have drivers that can drive it in a bit deeper than others, or if they really want to, and hey, there's a car in front of them, pretty much, and how they hit them.
oh yeah. There you go. So that will be Barry again, Mark, as they roughed Mark up. Boy, Mark's getting roughed up a bit. Oh. So that kind of looked like a similar instance of Joe. Like how Joe did, he got into the turn and just, you know, try to lock him up. But
Yes, most definitely. Almost a spitting image of what Joe Stipe did just a couple of laps into the race. I kind of have to agree. Just got in there, overcooked himself, and around he came. I think he was also trying to lock it up to make sure he didn't punt, who was that, Matthew, up ahead of him. So trying not to get into one car, but unfortunately when he slid sideways up the track, I believe I think that was Robert, that got into him, so
I do believe so. 77, yes. So 10th caution. Almost caught up here. It's just braking points. It's different brake points throughout the night. Very hard to maintain that for sure. So there you go, that's better.
yes, when you have different drivers with different braking points, it's very difficult and hard to find, two drivers with the same entering and exiting the corners, lifting and braking points. It's extremely difficult and very rare at the same time to find drivers that can put their car where their competitors can.
Oh yeah. It's a Barry here. You gonna lead him back?
Yes, this time Schaefer's to his outside.
Well, just like that, you probably might have another one. Yep. Maybe not. Very unfortunate for that circumstance. Try to clear themselves from the outside. Just wasn't enough to get clear, and around they went.
Yeah, but we're green. We're still green here.
Which is a good thing.
Schaefer fell all the way down to what looks like 13th position at the time. So costly mistakes.
Yep. Just as we said, two companies right now in P2.
Yes, does Jim have enough or what it takes to get up there to Dave and have something to do for the race win?
I guess we'll have to find out.
Still, I know I said it earlier, but still over 150 laps to go, over 100 laps to go. Math difficult at times, but so still a good portion of this race left.
Oh yeah. Like I said, Dave Barry, Jim, Tyler, Jason, Mark, Matt, Philip, Joe, Aaron, and Richard. That's your top 10. So 100 laps to go. Ever so slightly coming down. Since we are about halfway, we'll go to our favorite portion of the night. Hopefully we can stay that way, so it gives us a little breather for the moment to collect ourselves, and hopefully no more wrecking balls out there, so give you the sounds of these Xfinity cars, and everybody have fun.
Well, caution back out here again this evening at Martinsville, BNR Xfinity Series, and that iRacing Mustang pace car, safety car coming out yet again.
Yes. Oh, we want to say Jim. Oh no.
Second place runner at the time, and oh man, just lost it, just whipped around on him, and oh no, had it saved, had it locked up. Mark Berry unfortunately gave it a tap. Not sure how bad that will hurt the car, either car. The 9R 11 there.
Yep, he got a little T-boned in the side there. I don't think that hurt him too much. So I do believe, unfortunately, JD's going to stay that lap down there. It says, did not win the race off of pit road. Ahead of that pace.
Got to be careful here because, you know, laps are short here behind the pace car, the safety car, and really got to be careful of where that pace car is under caution pit stops.
Yep. So for the first time, we see Tyler in the front.
Yeah, I don't believe the first 4 cars pitted. They stayed out, I do believe, so.
I do believe so. I guess they wanted to have a little fun with Coney. So used to. So not many takers on the outside this time. That was close.
I'm going to get the restart here just under about 88 laps to go, I do believe. So Tyler Meyer is going to be the control car, leading them back to the green flag. Dave Berry caught sleeping on the restart. I do speculate he did not get a good launch. But Tyler Myers, decent hole shot. Pearson there walked it up the track in 3 and 4.
Very tight battle up here in front. Between Barry, Johns, and Richmond. Oh, as Matt gets to the corner of that 28. Matthew Hunt shaking behind. I was going to say, Brad, you got left out. 9 going. Got Jim Coleman's scooter heading at B10. Behind. So different lift points as we see here. Harder for some to finesse around. Others just kind of hit a little faster.
Alright, gotta be very tricky, very careful with each other. Oh no, Robert Amal around again. That'll bring out another caution this evening.
That's very unfortunate. I'd like to go back a little bit ago. This happened earlier on here with Campbell and Schaefer.
Oh, through white at Martinsville. Doesn't work right.
Yeah, come back and see that. There's no room given. It's very hard to see Campbell try to... I'm surprised that wasn't a caution, but they kept it going, so...
Yeah, that is surprising. I'd have to agree with that one. Not seeing a caution fly for that incident. That was a lot of hard, tough contact, and the car around Chris Schaefer there. Surprised iRacing did not throw that caution, but
Uh-oh. Dayberry's still leading. And I think he can probably, he's probably ain't gonna pit. He's gonna probably try to say, probably try to save as much as he can. That's what I was looking for. Coney comes around. As we watch Barry bottom, JP outside, Matthew bottom, Josh outside, Barry bottom. I think there's more on the outside this time. I would assume.
yeah, closing in on 50 laps to go.
Slowly ticking down the laps, ever so slightly. Martinsville, always Martinsville. Martinsville does Martinsville things.
Matthew Hunsaker now found himself back inside the top four, so maybe might have something to say about this at the end of the race. Just have to wait and see. In the restart zone there, so out to a small lead already on the restart. As we see everybody filing in, trying to either get down to the bottom or give enough way or position to their competitors on the high side and to their inside.
As we see here, Will, Matthew Hunsaker looking to run back down Barry. We know Hunsaker was quick in practice, qualified on the pole. So as he gets a better charge in through the turns each and every lap. Oh, as that car almost snapped loose on Matt.
Yeah, if Matthew wants to try to have anything for Dave here in the closing laps of this race, he really has to be mistake-free from this point on. Really got to stay in that rhythm. Don't lose that rhythm. Keep up that forward momentum.
Poor Barry. Barry's got a rough night. I don't know if someone hit him or... Nope. That's what you call hitting marbles. As you saw that teeter-totter there, so...
Yeah, just hit a bad center of the corner. Right there, it really bit. And possibly some oversteer right in the center of the corner. Tried to control it, and unfortunately, a slow slide. And
oh, see, Philip got some crinklage. Holy jeez. Got some crinklage in the hood, and boy, that rear end will look pretty. Right on. Take a look here. Martinsville. You want to pull... 'll come to a halt at the line here. Looking out on top of the hood here. Bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 on the bottom. Rest of them on top. Five on the outside and 9 of them on the bottom. So Matthew's on the outside this time. I want to say, Will, though, if anyone who did an outside restart great, I would say is Richard. It was just even with the leader, and he was just able to get it going.
Green flag back out in the air, Brian. Dave Barry gets to another good lead, but stack up on that inside lane.
Hey,
That's going to really hinder A little bit there.
Short track racing out of Martinsville.
We can see.
See Tyler out there in the marbles, not the lane. Oh, just like that. There they go again. As Tyler gets some slippage. You know, you can't be all the way out there. You can't gas her up like you want to, like that. And then around he goes.
Yeah, I believe that was Schaefer that was caught up in that. So.
Yeah. So Schaefer knocked his lucky dog back because due to being caught up in that. What the hell? That's what kind of move that was. So, anywho, pits are closed still. Next time by the pits will be open for these lead lap cars. If they choose the pit, then that is on them. I told you Coney was extra. It's gonna be extra busy tonight. Another 5 more laps, and it would be exactly 50 laps left of the race. But people said they like carnage, so why not? Show the has me right on board with the company. Has his own little sponsors, gotta love it. Awesome to see that. And then he has a pair of eyes on the back. And now I do gotta use the restroom. That's right. Well, 3 cars went to the outside, and everybody else went to the bottom. So you could possibly get everybody next time starting on the bottom.
Well, that's what we get here with the choose rule. Everybody getting to choose left or right lane on these double fall restarts, and pretty much everybody for the most part been choosing that more so than the outside. JP second, Josh fourth, Richard
Richard 6th. See there's Josh up there in the ball. Josh is going to fade back. Oh. Just like that. He swallowed up on the inside lane there. Josh is looking to fight back on that outside lane roll. Next time by will be 50 laps to go. So they're about there. As long as they can keep it green, then they can get to the end, and then will make their nice little more easier. So. Well, just as we say that, the one
Matthew Hunsaker back into the wall again. Yes, indeed.
Is that third time, fourth time? One, two. Maybe a little coming together by the 13 and the 1. We'll take a look here. Or it could be that Mac got a little loose.
A lot of understeer there. Able to catch it. The rear end was already around and backed himself into the wall. Don't think it was heavy contact back into the wall, but enough to come to a complete stop and bring out the 14th caution of the evening, I do believe. So,
yep. So Tony's going to sit down by the line there. We'll see who chooses what. I believe Richard's going to go outside. Just like that, yep. After to the inside, Joe to the inside, Josh inside, Philip out, Brian Campbell bottom, Hunsaker bottom. Pace lights are off on the pace car here tonight. Okay start there, falls in behind the 56 of Dave. Hopefully these guys can keep it green so we can get them out of here and on their way. What a lock up there from Jim. When it wants to be. In the books. Here's your top five. Series chasing the forward. Six more laps and they'll be 25 to as Jim is called behind the 7's called behind the 41. Nowhere for them to go. So they are going to ride it out until one of them slip up and messes up. Just like that, fill up to the outside, jump out of the way, so he didn't run over the 41. So Phillip is going to try to carry momentum on the outside. Try to convince Jim. Trying to convince Jim to stay out there with him as he does. Oh, and around goes Phillip. So lock up from Phil. Just under braking. Very unfortunate for Philip.
Yeah, Philip, for the most part tonight, Brian was keeping that car clean. Had, like we mentioned, a bit of bumper damage front and rear, but that could have been sustained by all these restarts we've seen tonight. A couple of accidents have occurred on these restarts, and that's probably where, for the most part, these drivers have sustained or gotten that front or rear bumper damage.
So next time by will be 25 to go. This Coney will fix to find his way out here in just a brief moment. Martinsville always seems to be our longest race. That's right, it always brings the action. That's what everybody likes to see. So. It's a very busy night for the company. I'll give a huge shout out to Kyle Gooden for taking on the Coney Express to be the usual here in the Xfinity Series. It was just shoots and giggles, see how well it works, and everybody likes it, so this can probably be the new addition for Tuesdays and Thursdays. Nothing less. But that is to be determined, and roughly around that time it comes. As here, Kyle sits at the line, Barry's going to the bottom, Richard to the out, Bradford bottom, Jim out. Boom. So, lights will go off on the pace bar. Yeah, pace bar.
Looks like probably a 21 lap shootout. So might as well say 20 lap shootout here. Once we get done working the 16th caution of the evening. Hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, that the competitors can make it the final 20 laps under pace, under green.
Okay, restart by 6 at 8 and Richard Dons.
Oh, Richard gets tagged from the rear by Aaron. I would assume another caution, yes, is flown. And possibly Richard just trying to get down to the bottom. And looks like he might have got clipped by Aaron when it happened live. Getting a replay here of the incident. Yeah, he had space at the time, but that space quickly closed once they got to the corner, and just Aaron late braking, I guess you could say, into the corner to try to get the most advantage he could of the competitors behind him, just mistiming all around. Racing incident really there, I'd have to say, because, oh my. Kyle Busch spun out Brad Keselowski in the SRX race.
Oof.
Yep. Brad was leading. Just, Brad gave him a window of opportunity, and Brad just came back down trying to close the door a bit too late on Kyle, I would have to say. If you would ask me.
That's Brad and that's Kyle, so
Oh yeah.
they know how to finesse around there.
40 laps left in the SRX main event, or the feature race, I guess you could say. As these BNR Xfinity drivers manage their choose here on this restart by under caution coming to the restart. Look to be about 14 laps to go, I do believe, when we go green again. So Dayberry, Joe Stipe on the outside, Aaron Bradford, Philip Bridgman, row 2, Jim Comensberger, and Jason Pearson. Then you have Campbell and JD.
Hitting Coney, which caused the 28 to be sitting in the pits.
I thought I saw a little bit of nudge from Josh Small onto Kyle Gooden, the, like you say, the choose cone this evening, BNR Xfinity Series. Dave Barry, he's been a good control car, good restarter here at Martinsville all evening long. He would hate for late race caution and a restart to fumble all of that. These drivers are dicing it up back here a bit further on in the pack. Jim Comensberger trying to stay ahead of Pearson. Then you got Campbell diving to the inside of Pearson. Nothing going there at this time. Joe Stipe coming around. Oh no, going to bring out the, what is that, 17th caution? 18th caution?
Yep. That is hard on the throttle at its finest. Off the turn there.
Indeed. Yes, indeed, 18th caution, and yes, as well, a lot of hard throttle action. Back onto the loud pedal by Joe Stipe. And keep them at bay, but at the same time, just unfortunately wrapped around a bit too severely. He had a good center of the corner, but the exit just was not kind to Joe at all.
Nope. We're watching come around here. Here's the tail end of the field. I say give a huge shout out to Carl. Busy night for him, absolutely is. So hopefully they can
choose their starting position here on this restart and get going and finish this race off. And the limited number of laps that we have left, probably going to be close to about a 5-lap shootout. Green. So that was close, almost 5. Might be 5.
Oh, Coney's got some speed to him. That's for sure.
Yeah, like I said, I bet a Legends car race here would be rather fun. It might be long and enduring, but it might be fun as well.
Yeah, especially the Pilot M boys around here, as they do.
So 5 laps to go when they do drop the green flag. So Phillip going to be restarting on the outside. Bradford will be behind Barry. And Jim Coleman'sberger starting 4th on what would be makeshift P4 position. Philip Bridgman able to get down behind Barry, right in front of Bradford. Rolling through turns 1 and 2 very smoothly. What will be the result at the end of this race for some of these competitors that have been able to stick it out? And man, body shunt there between the 10 and the 11, and oh my goodness, parking lot or scrapyard ensuing out of turn 2. And oh my goodness, as you couldn't think this race could get any longer, we are going to go into overtime. Our green, white, checkered scenario evening back. And we have got to the number of cautions. Oh no, that's 19th caution. So one more and we will get to the trucks. Yeah, that all started with the hard battling between the 10 and the 11, Richard Johns and Jim Koenigsberger, and then I believe Pearson, I think that's Pearson, yes it is,
Yeah.
Pearson trying to navigate his way by it, and fortunately could not. Very long, tough, grueling race that pretty much most of these drivers have been through both races this week here at Martinsville, with the trucks on Tuesday and the Xfinity Series here on Thursday. So a lot of give, no take. My apologies, I said that backwards. A lot of take and no give. Next week, I believe the Xfinity Series will be going to Talladega, so
Talladega. Hoping to be here for that. 'Cause that should be a good race.
well, that's also understandable if we're not, you know, like you said, family emergencies happen.
Hopefully this is the last time we see Coney out here for show. Whenever that pace car doesn't want to drive slow, but sometimes it holds the horse whenever he needs to. So first attempt at a GWC. So Philip giving the good luck tap to the back of the 56. Gate of 56, some little rear end damage. Don't know how it looks with a 10 gun left on the back of that curve. So we'll see how well this shakes out. Base car is off. First attempt at a GWC.
Jay Berry again with another whole shot restart. Richard Johns hanging tough on the outside. Philip Bridgman going to get there, you would think. Not there at the moment, but he's there now. A bit further back in the field. White flag is in the air here at Martinsville, BNR Xfinity Series. Dave Berry taking the white flag. Really hoping for no mistakes now. Certainly at this point. Good battle here for second place, second and third. Dave Berry will come off of turn 4 and see the checkered flag. And Philip Bridgman second and third. Jim Koenigsberger fourth. I believe Aaron Bradford rounded out the top 5. It was a close one between him and Mark, I do believe, but so nope. Bradford, Berry, Pearson. Berger 4th, Bradford 5th, Berry, Pearson 7th, Joe Stipe 8th, J.D. O'Brien 9th, and Chris Campbell in the 10th position rounds out, I do believe, all the finishers here this evening.
Oh, yeah. Well, race, they finally got through it, for sure. So, guess we'll go ahead. I mean, we can talk to Dave first. Barry.
Hey.
Hey, Dave. Pretty much a dominant performance by you this evening. A lot of stop, start, stop, start. We got a couple of green flag runs in there, but for the most part, it was a stop and go. But you had a couple of quick guys. You know, Matthew Hunsaker qualified on the pole again. He looked to be one to watch and be one to put up a fight for you. Then Philip Bridgman out of nowhere kind of seemed to be there at one point in the race to kind of be one to worry about as well. So you just had a handful of competitors that you were just kind of dealing with throughout the race, and a few battles here and there when you did have them. But overall, what was your thoughts and opinions, and give us your thoughts of the race this evening, Dave?
Well, it was a good race for me. I know there was a lot of issues and everything throughout the race, but we did have some good runs. It was pretty fun. Had to find rhythms, get good restarts. That was the key. Philip coming up, back up to the front again, just like normal. So always have to worry about him. And I didn't have maybe the fastest car tonight again, but I think I kept most of my damage clean and got a good finish.
Right on. Well, like I said, the one to catch was obviously Hunsaker, but Hunsaker got caught up in a few messes, that is for sure. I do believe next week, as Will brought to my attention, I do believe you guys are at
Talladega next week. Yep.
Yeah, that'll be a thing. That's one where I'm not really good at super speedways, so I've just got to bide my patience and just bide my time and everything, and hopefully get through. If there is wrecks, hopefully just get through and just shoot for a top 10. I'm just not a plate racer or whatever super speedway racer, so that's about all I can do. Try to stay out of trouble and get a good finish.
Yeah,
Well, is there anybody else, or Dave, is there anybody that you'd like to give some shout-outs to, or maybe give some thanks, some other thoughts that you might have of this evening?
I appreciate the guys being, giving me space and, just knowing that I might get a good restart and not wanting the pressure to cause any accidents or anything. They were giving me warnings and stuff, so it was nice. It's good to have some drivers that actually communicate with you and help out. So give a shout out to all of them, and they know who they are. I'd like to thank everybody here at the broadcast. Brian, Will, you guys are doing a great job. I can't wait to watch the race again tomorrow. So that's it. I just love getting another win. First one in this series, so I like it.
It's always good. Always good to carry that momentum.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Well, big congratulations to you, Dave, winning Tuesday in the trucks at Martinsville, and also coming back Thursday to win the Xfinity race here this evening. So big congratulations to you, and hopefully we are able to talk to you next week at Talladega.
that would be a nice thing to happen. So thanks again, and y'all have a good night.
You too.
You too, Dave.
Excellent. Philip Bridgman. Philly.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, here you sit, P2. An up and down night for Mr. Phil. I would say there was a lot of loose lips flying and other stuff I heard, but that's a whole nother point of things. But anyway, sir, congratulations on P2, the podium finish. Philip, why don't you go ahead and walk us through those last couple of laps here of your night and just the overall race in itself.
It was a pretty good race overall. Like, there was a good amount of cautions, obviously, that happened, but I feel like it was a lot better than the truck race. There was a good amount of green flag runs that we were getting. Like, it felt like it wasn't green, yellow, green, yellow. It was actually green. We'd get a nice little run in and then a yellow. But those closing laps there, it was. I felt like we would have stayed green that one run. Like I might have still pulled off the second there, but it was all trying to strategy whether you were going to choose the high side or the inside on the restart. It's like if it was benefiting you or not benefiting you, it was tough to tell. It was still a great race. Like I thought I might have messed it under the pace laps. I thought we were going green, and I might have punched it a little too early there, a lap before we went green. I'm just glad it didn't mess anyone's race. Overall, it was pretty good.
Yes, that's always a good thing to see, but sometimes punching the gun too soon could hurt. Also, in the long run, next week is Talladega. I'm hoping to be here for that, but if prior obligations come up, then prior obligation comes up. What would be your strategy going into Talladega next week? I do believe it is the... No, it ain't. It's not. No, it could be the last race before you all hit the playoffs.
Talladega's awesome. I absolutely love Dega. It's going to be a lot of just trying to stay ahead of everything, maybe hang out in the back a little bit, or up front. Maybe being in front of it all is best, but it'll be a lot of great back racing.
That indeed. Any shout-outs or anything you'd like to give there, sir?
Sure. I still love being on Aerokinetics and having Niagara Quick Dry in the car when I can, and I appreciate you guys putting it on. It's always great having you.
Absolutely, it's always great to call the races over here and give you guys the action. Well, sir, best of luck to you next week, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Last but not least, I'll let you interview him. Oh, Richard. There you go. Floor is yours.
Well, good evening, Richard.
What's going on, fellas?
Well, just, sitting through this pretty intriguing Xfinity race this evening. You had a bit of an up and down night yourself. Just about all the competitors had an up and down night. Seems to be the way of Martinsville. But just kind of walk us through your night and what your thoughts and overall opinions were of the race, Richard.
Like you said, it was up and down. Started, I think, P6 or P7. Just tried to keep it up front, keep it clean, and got in a little tussle with the 41 there towards the end. Slapped 4 tires on it and drove my way back up to the front, and ultimately with the juice cone ended up in P3. So I can't complain too much.
Good stand-up podium finish for you at the net result, the end of the race. So, like you say, can't complain there. I do agree with you. Whenever you can come back and have a good finish, not too much to really talk about, but hey, got a good finish. Next week, like we've alluded to a couple of other competitors, is Talladega. If you were here in the Xfinity Series next week for Talladega, what would be your thought or maybe preparation going into a place like Talladega?
Preparation, not much, because it's pretty much, push the guy in front of you until the end, but with no quick fixes, I think it's going to be an interesting race. Try to stay out of trouble early. Just kind of hang out for a little bit until it's time to go.
Right. That is always really the best option. Just log the laps and wait till about 10 or 5 to go. Maybe 15, that might be pushing it still, but 10 or 5 to go, if you can have yourself in the right position possible, like you say, and that would be the money time or the go time to try to have the best finish possible, try to win the race there, but still try to bring the home car in one piece as well. Just kind of an up and down night, like I said before, here at Martinsville, but you walked away with a podium finish. Got anybody you'd like to thank, or maybe add a little bit more about this evening's race?
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out to broadcast, even though it was kind of a long race, but all right. The guys on the track, congrats to Dave Barry for getting another win here at Martinsville. I'm pretty sure he snagged the win in the trucks as well on Tuesday.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought it was a good race up until, towards the end, which I thought it was going to be, the way it was with the cautions and, but I was happy to have a lot of the green flag runs, and my car seemed to be better on the long run as it was, so we'll go on from there.
Well, Richard, thanks for the kind words, and thanks for talking to us after this race here this evening in Martinsville, and best of luck to you moving forward in the BNR Racing Series.
Appreciate it, guys.
Not a problem, sir. We'll chat in a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll give you a little break now. What an intense race. A lot of ups, a lot of downs for some. A lot of scuffage throughout the track, but that's what we expect here at Martinsville. Once again, I want to give a huge thank you to Kyle Gooden for being Coney, coming out here, being Coney. So, helping these boys choose what lane they want. A lot of them, like you heard, quite a few of them like the idea of Coney, so that's that. But for myself, Brian Hunt, to Will Roberts, we want to thank you guys for coming on out tonight to tune into the BNR Racing Network from Martinsville. Check out Will on Saturday night on the 1-5 Studios broadcast. Saturday night for the BNR Cup Series. Next week, I want to say we will be here, but I am not sure. But if we are, we will be back live here on this channel here on Tuesday night. So for myself and Will, thank you for coming out, and we hope you guys all have a safe night. Thank you.